This is the Parental Alienation Speaks podcast. I'm Cheryl Mefford. Research shows that both mothers and fathers alienate. The examples shared in this video are specific to our situation. In a previous video, I listed the 17 alienation tactics that are used in child custody. Those 17 tactics have been put into 5 categories. Tactic number 4. Undermining authority. As you can imagine, it's pretty easy to undermine a target parent's authority. All the alienator really needs to do is the exact opposite of what's happening in the target parent's home. For us, homework and routine were constants. We believed in education, getting good grades, helping with chores, and going to bed at a regular time. So, in the alienator's home, there was no homework, no chores, and no rules. This behavior is considered what's called overindulgence. The goal is to cement the children's alliance to the alienator while furthering their alienation from the target parent. Indulgence can take the form of having lower expectations for responsible behavior. A lax attitude is taken towards chores, homework, and junk food snacks. The children may regard your demands for more mature behavior and frustration tolerance as overly strict and odious. You make them brush their teeth and do their homework. Their other parent lets them avoid chores. By suspending ordinary expectations of the children, the alienator encourages the kids to reject you, the target parent, as unreasonably demanding. The alienator maintained a foothold in our home through calls and texts. She constantly insinuated fear, but also would create a feeling of homesickness within the kids. Dr. Warshak refers to this as encroachment. He writes, "A common ploy is to involve the child in frequent and lengthy telephone calls while the child is in the target parent's home. This serves several purposes. It reduces the time the target parent and child can interact. It keeps the child focused on the brainwashing parent, and it provides an opportunity to reinforce the programming. Oftentimes, the call generates homesickness or guilt. The children hear all about the fun things they are missing while they are away from the other parent." One mother carried this to the extremes. She told her son Ward not only that he missed him, but his dog, guinea pig, plants, teddy bear, goldfish, grandparents, the house, and the swing set missed him. At the end of the conversation, Ward felt that somehow it was wrong for him to be enjoying himself with his father. When Jack and I read this in the book Divorce Poison, we were absolutely blown away. This is exactly what the alienator did to Mary. She would go into Mary's bedroom while she was on the phone with her and go through every single stuffed animal Mary had, name them, and tell Mary, "Well, the bear misses you. Well, Miss Cuddles misses you. Well," and she would go on down the row through every stuffed animal. And then she would go and talk about the goldfish and name the goldfish. "Goldie, the goldfish misses you, Mary." And by the end of the phone call, Mary didn't want anything to do with being at our home. Before ending the phone calls, the alienator would also promise a surprise waiting for the kids as soon as they got home. Another effective thing that the alienator would do to perpetuate homesickness in the kids was that she would give them a keepsake of some sort just before arriving to our home. In this picture, the kids had just received the hats they are wearing. And what is interesting about this is that Jack and I had just a couple days before this taken the kids on shopping sprees for school and spent, over $100 a kid getting new clothes, backpacks, shoes, etc. And the kids did not care anything about any of those things we had done for them. All they cared about was the hat. Dr. Warshak writes, "When an alienating parent does these things, they are saying, 'You must think about me at all times. If you spend time away from me, you might forget me. I can't bear the thought of being without you.'" Assigning pet names to Jack and I is another way the alienator undermined authority. I was given the name Bug-Eyed Freak, and Jack was the abusive alcoholic. Dr. Warshak writes, Jill's children did not start calling their grandmother a witch the very first time their mother used this put-down. But when they heard the word used many times, it began to seem natural. Repetition of desired messages is common to all forms of indoctrination. The more we hear an idea or a word, the more familiar it becomes. Repetition also helps embed messages in memory. If a false impression, an unjustified denigration of a parent, is repeated enough times, it too becomes second nature. And ultimately, it becomes indistinguishable from beliefs based in reality. The alienator constantly made fun of the food that I made, our home, our dog, you name it. She made fun of everything. And once you teach a child how to disrespect and have a very low opinion about something, it's very hard to ever regain that. We have several dogs, and the kids were always all about the dogs until the alienator told them not to be about the dogs. One day we came home with the kids, and right away I come upstairs to see Mary sticky brushing the couch. And I asked her what she was doing. And she looked up at me and said, "How much dog hair do you think we've eaten since we've been here?" If you found this information helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel and go to ParentalAlienationSpeaks.com to learn more about our story. I'm Cheryl Mefford, and I'm fighting for childhoods.